Shalom Aleichem. I am Malevsky here, up out of the west side. I'm going to do a math commentary today. So, to see how it goes. If we can hear through the mask, then we'll do it. Shouldn't be much of a difference. Coming after Pesach, it's a little bit of it was a great Pesach, but it was a disappointment that Mashiach couldn't come yet. We were all disappointed, letting God know, a little disappointed in you. We really thought Mashiach was going to come. It was a perfect timing. He set the stage with Corona. Everyone's in their homes doing the Korban Pesach just like it was in the original time. And should have done it. Hopefully this Shabbos will have the privilege of spending time with Mashiach. So, one of the stories that I heard recently, which was beautiful, and the text is in the title here to help understand the beauty and the clarity of it, was from the Rebbe's father. His name was Rebbe Levi Yitzchak Schneerson. His birthday was a few days ago, just right before Pesach. And the story that just recently came out was, at one time, the Rebbe's father was a Kabbalist, a known Kabbalist and a leader of the Jewish community in Yekaterinslav, or Deneb Petrovsk. And people came from far and wide to seek out his advice and his wisdom, etc. And he's the Rebbe's father, you can imagine. So here, just share one story about the Rebbe's father that I just recently heard. It just surfaced. A person came to his town. I think his name was Medalnik. I think I heard the name was Medalnik or something. Came to his town to fundraise for the new yeshiva, the Lubavitch yeshiva, called Tomchei Tamimim. So Lubavitch yeshiva system all over the world is called Tomchei Tamimim. And they would go collect money all over. So somebody came to Russia, to Yekaterinslav, to collect money for the yeshiva. And he came to the Rebbe's father and he asked him for assistance. He said, will you come with me? They introduced me to some people, help me out. The Rebbe's father brought him to a shul where people were able to give, relatively speaking, in those days. And he got up there and he told a story from the Gemara. He says the Talmud tells a story about a time where there was a group of people in a certain area that were indulging too much in food and drink, in the physical pleasures of the world. It wasn't illegal, it was just a bit of indulgence. Okay, so one of the great sages at the time, his name was Elazar ben Arach, he also kind of joined the festivities, and he had, the Talmud says, too much to eat and too much to drink, as far as it went. When he came back, but it was similar, unbecoming of the great holy sage, when he came back to open up his books, he opened up the Chumash Torah and he looked at the words, and the words were the first mitzvah that God gave the Jewish people, the mitzvah of sanctifying the new moon. And the words are HaChodesh, HaZeh, LaChem. This month shall be unto you the first month, etc. And instead of reading it, HaChodesh, HaZeh, LaChem, he read HaCheresh, Haya, Libam. So if you look at the text, you'll see how similar they look in Hebrew. HaChodesh, HaZeh, LaChem, HaCheresh, Haya, Libam. So the meaning of, but he was of course the Tana, this great sage, was very disturbed and very troubled that he made such a grave mistake reading something wrong in the Torah, and he wasn't able to read properly. the Talmud continues that his friends prayed for him. They asked God for mercy for him, and he was able to resume his studies. Now, the Rebbe's father, Rebbe Levi, told the story and said, why would the Talmud tell us a story that's so disparaging or so, unkind about this great man who was otherwise known to be a whole great sage with many contributions in the Talmud, etc. And he said there's a lesson in these words and in their erroneous reading. The lesson is as follows. He said, sometimes when we approach somebody or ourselves or somebody else, talk to them about Torah, the mitzvot, about observing, studying, being enthusiastic about Torah and mitzvot, or about raising funds for institutions that support it. There could be three approaches: HaCheresh, Haya, Libam. HaCheresh means deaf. The word HaChodesh as LaChem means, and this month shall be to you. HaCheresh, Haya, Libam doesn't really translate well, but it would translate as their heart became deaf. Their heart was deaf. Cheresh means deaf. Someone's not able to hear. Haya means was. Libam means their heart. So he says the three responses that a person might have. One is HaCheresh. Says, I don't hear what you're saying. What are you talking about? I don't get it. It just doesn't register with the person what we're talking about. That's one response. Then there's Haya. Haya is the past. It was. A person might say, oh, Torah mitzvahs, this real enthusiasm. The Torah study is a thing of the past. It's not something for today. Today's different. America is different. Everything's different. It's for the olden days. A third response might be Libam. Libam is, their heart feels, my heart feels strongly about what you're saying, but it doesn't move the person to action. It stays in the heart. I'm a Jew in the heart. That's one approach. But the proper approach is HaChodesh as LaChem. So Rebbe Levi, the Rebbe's father, explained that the mission for which this man is coming now is to raise funds for a yeshiva, which is the Chabad yeshiva system, and they're teaching and raising and educating the students to be HaChodesh, HaZeh, LaChem. HaChodesh means Chadash. It comes from the word new. Everything is new. Everything is given, approached, and studied, and enthusiastic as if it was given today from Mount Sinai. Everything is new. And HaZeh means it's this one instead of Haya. It's there, it's just right over here. It's here, it's actual, and we're living it. And LaChem instead of Libam. LaChem means to you, which means like when lulav and esrog has to be owned. Has to be a Lakachtem LaChem, take for yourself. It's for you, you. So when we learn things in a yeshiva network of Tomchei Tmimim, it's internalized. This is not for someone else. It's for me. God means me. Like Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu, or V'ahavta Hashem B'chol Levavcha, is you. It's talking to us, me personally. That was a beautiful story I thought I'd share with you, where a story in the Talmud where a great sage seemingly read something wrong, but he also brought a beautiful lesson to us about our approach. 3 approaches you can find in these words. God bless you. A good Shabbos. And just in case you're wondering, it is me. If you weren't wondering, who else does these crazy running commentaries, right? Take care, be well.